Every nation has a moment of truth. For Nigeria, it arrived at 12:15 p.m. on a Monday. It wasn't just a policy shift. It was the end of a decades-old system that had swallowed billions. Money the nation no longer had.
The fresh subsidy is gone.
The renewed hope agenda began not with a celebration, but with the courage to stop the bleeding.
Because he had removed the subsidy, first subsidy, so he decided to give a package of about 200 billion naira to SMEs. And 75 billion of that 200 billion naira was for those in the manufacturing sector who could access up to 1 billion.
Honestly, I commend Mr. President for the reforms. I feel that all regulators and subnational government should support Mr. President to cushion the impact of these reforms. It's cushioning the impact that is the issue. But are the reforms necessary? Absolutely. It was impossible to continue to fund the fuel subsidy. It didn't make any sense to not unify the Naira, and the tax reforms are actually pro the less privileged.
Journey began in late 2023, when the new leadership headed by Governor Olayemi Cardoso took the reins. The atmosphere was thick with uncertainty. The economic ledger read a staggering $7 billion backlog in foreign exchange obligations, inflation climbing aggressively past 22%, a confusing maze of multiple exchange rate windows, and an empty vault of investor trust.
With a clear understanding of the gravity of these challenges, we moved swiftly to implement far-reaching, bold but necessary reforms aimed at restoring credibility, normalizing policy conduct, rebuilding confidence, and stabilizing the macroeconomic environment.
Then a series of aggressive interest rate hikes, driving the benchmark policy rate from 18.75% all the way up to 27.5% by late 2024.
Ways and means financing was reined in decisively, declining from 26.95 trillion to 3.51 trillion in December 2024. And further to 2.84 trillion by January 2026, marking one of the sharpest fiscal consolidations in recent history.
By the time January 2026 arrived, the bitter pills of 2023 began to taste like victory. Headline inflation, which had peaked at a frightening 34.8% in late 2024, dropped to 15.1%, with food inflation easing dramatically to single digits at 8.9%.
We saw Nigeria recording the highest ever in terms of non-oil export in volume to the tune of 8.02 million metric tons. This is the highest ever in the history of the country. And in terms of value, we recorded the highest ever in the history of the country, which is $6.1 billion, almost 11% increase year on year. This is very outstanding, and we couldn't have done that without the policy trust and diversification agenda of Mr. President.
Export volume similarly scaled up by 10% to hit 8.02 million metric tons.
$61.1 billion US. it came into the country. Remember, this is only for formal documented trade. And when flows come into the country, it increases the flow of foreign exchange, it stabilizes the currency. And we can see, even with Renew Hope agenda, it's never happened where for over almost 1 year, exchange rate has been stable. And this is what we are all crying for. This is what all the entrepreneurs, the industrialists are crying for, stability in foreign currency.
To tackle the persistent menace of export rejects in international markets, the NEPC registered 1,129 new exporters in 2025 and supported small and medium-sized enterprises in securing 210 new international certifications through different projects.
I am a producer of bags made with Nigerian fabrics, and I market my bags all over the world.
The synchronized whirring of these industrial sewing machines are not the sounds of a few isolated mega factories. They are the collective heartbeat of Nigeria's MSME sector, which has undergone structural transformation over the last 3 years.
That in today's Nigeria, that you can plant cotton, it can be taken to a textile manufacturer and to a garment producer. That garment producer can produce what? A t-shirt. And that t-shirt will be less expensive, of better quality and quantity than anyone coming from abroad. This is what we need. I believe this is what we need to industrialize. When we talk about made in Nigeria, it's not necessary for you to compromise quality or standards.
The cotton is an economy on its own. It has its own ecosystem. So what we've been able to achieve is as the effort of the entire ecosystem that we pull together. And today, with the demo that we did recently, this is not the first time we're getting that, the good yield, but we pull in a lot. We pull in experience from our challenges. We pulled in all the ecosystem, the science, academics, farmers, seeds. We pull everything in and we were able to get what you saw today. So we got over 3 tons per hectare. Long length, good quality, fluffy cotton. The one that we've been looking for a very long time. We got that from what we did.
But the good news is we're vertically integrated. So we make the textile and the garment. And that means our products are even much cheaper than imported shirts. And because of that, we've actually grown in strength where our orders have ballooned up to like 200,000. So we have an order to supply 200,000 shirts by next month, and that will be continuous. So what used to be a challenge now has become a strength for us. And because we're creating value for customers, orders that are supposed to go to China are coming local. So the last order we're supplying, they were close to sending an order to China, but they realized they could just make it here. And that's the value we're creating for the country. We currently have about 150 employees. We're hiring another 50 in the next 30 days. So that takes us to about 200 employees. So it's just not a t-shirt really, right? So it's an opportunity for us to industrialize, create jobs, do import substitution, reduce the pressure on the knife.
At the center of this transformation is the Presidential MSMEs Intervention Program.
Once we identify unique SMEs, we give them grants to support their businesses instantly.
And let me assure you that this is an outright grant with no requirement for repayment, reflecting our commitment to nurturing MSMEs and fostering economic growth. I met a young lady at the clinic. I saw the passion, the enthusiasm, the commitment.
This lady was given a grant. Two separate partners gave her 10 million naira each as grants, aside from our own MSME clinic, because what she presented during the clinics were too creative for anybody to ignore. So we're fashion. we have ICT. We're about going into beauty and wellness now, basically, and a few other things. We have about 12. And you know, it will marvel you the number of jobs that each one can create. Because what we have done is that if you want, you can come, you clock in about 8, 9 o'clock. It depends on the states. They leave about 5 o'clock. So we've ensured that annually, at least almost 40,000 people are able to use a facility.
This is my work, and we are making about 300 for this particular product. I've been using the facility and the lights 24 hours. No shortage of lights. There's always lights, and I've been able to meet up.
It has bring tremendous impact in our profession as tailors, as designers, and whatever, because the machines are too expensive. They are too cost for our members. And here are hubs that were being created by SMEDA for our members to benefit freely.
It's a very nice place for a youth like me to come and improve my knowledge more.
Every month, an average of maybe like 3,000, or they're about 3,000 averagely. So imagine if you have in each senatorial zone, you know, if Lagos State is known for fashion, you have big fashion cities in each of the senatorial zone. If Oyo State, you think you can do mechanic city, you have 3 big ones in each senatorial zone. If Edo State, you want to do furniture, you have 3 massive ones in those places. You know, on those states, you have cold room. You know, in Bayelsa, you have cold rooms everywhere. River State, you have cold room, you have fashion. Enugu, you have fashion. You have, by the way, there's also a printing press that is in Imo State as well. A printing press. So each one of those things are able to, on the average every month, maybe like 3,000 people will use them. Then every year, close to about 40,000, you know. So, and in the first phase, we're able to create about 250,000 jobs. The target this year is to go further, go closer to 500,000.
We've kicked off a 20 billion naira mobility fund, allowing Nigerians to access credit to buy locally assembled vehicles. Recently as well, we did the same thing under that same fund, we had with people access getting tricycles, motorbikes. One of the locally assemblers, the biggest one in Nigeria, TVS, was the one that we worked with. They make about 1,170 kekes a day, and we give people credit to go and purchase those locally assembled goods and services. That means it allows their income to grow. Next, we're going to be seeing is locally assembled furniture and home improvement. That means that people get credit to get locally assembled whatever you need in your house.
By mid-2024, Nigeria's equities market was ranked first in Africa, with capitalization past 56 trillion naira. Then the surge to 100 trillion naira in 2025 as the NGX All-Share Index defied gravity, closing the year with a 51.19% return amid the global economy wrestling with stagnation.
Today is over 250,000. Yes, I recognize the impact of the unification, external unification, and then on the market. But even if you discount that, there's no doubt that the market has experienced remarkable progress. Also, in terms of regulation has been strengthened. You recall that last year, 2025, the new investment law, Investment and Securities Act of 2025, was enacted. And we didn't have that, for a very long, time. And the same thing with also market infrastructure. We've seen improvements in market infrastructure.
By the time the calendar turned to 2026, the entire nation woke up to an unprecedented milestone as the NGX outperformed major global peers like the S&P 500.
Anyone following the trend in the Nigerian stock exchange would be overexcited. For someone like me, I'm even frightened at the phenomenal rise in the value of stocks. Why? It's a reflection of the health of the Nigerian economy. A friend of mine told me out of fear that his stocks increased by 1.7 billion naira in value within 24 hours. That shows the vibrancy. In spite of all the negativities, Nigeria
is indeed a great nation.
Everybody agrees that our market has also helped the economy, greatly. Government has been able to raise substantial sum of money from the market to finance budget deficits. And there is also the case of the banking sector recapitalization. Yes, it was made possible again by the capital markets.
To consolidate on gains being achieved, a new industrial backbone was forged.
Today, government makes more money in our cement business than anybody. They are number one. We shareholders, we collect less than what the government collects. But that is okay, so far that they keep allowing us to expand, they keep allowing us to prosper, and we too, we will actually make sure that there is prosperity all over the place.
It is important that government does not only talk about what it owes, but what it owns. The fact that we moved from a registry of a mere 1.5 trillion naira value of what we own to over 38 trillion naira of what government owns, and that figure is counting. The intention is to get to about 100 trillion within the next few years. I would believe at 38 trillion naira we made significant progress, and that does not include a large percentage of our other assets. In the next few years, we intend to see that number rise significantly. And by knowing that, it means that we are now in a position where we can use that to raise finance for investments at the lower costs than would have been done if we didn't have those assets. It also means that we now have platforms and instruments that we can use to attract other investors to partner with government to do more than we could have in the past.
We have so many overlapping mandates, so it was necessary that we started to structure our MDAs into working clusters, which meant that they're able to depend on each other, rely on each other, and leverage each other's strength, and also be less burdensome on the businesses.
Recently, there was an approval for metro rail programs in 3 of our cities, Kano, Kaduna, and Lagos, and there are many more coming up for about $3 billion. To develop metro rail. This, we believe, is a major part of this administration's priority of infrastructure development.
We're looking at what's going on in Ghana, what's going on in Benin Republic, and then of course we are we're ambitious, so we're also looking at South Africa, the United States of America, the UK, because hopefully we are looking to benchmark against international best practices.
For 2023 and now, we will notice that the number of new vehicle assembly in Nigeria has grown tremendously. When compared the percentage of those new vehicle or SKD that are coming in, the kits that are coming in to the used vehicle that are coming in, the ratio now is about close to 15 to 85. Before it was almost 5 to 95. And that means we are making progress gradually.
We are doing manufacturing. That's why we can be able to manufacture motor with engine that can use petrol. Also, we can manufacture motor can use battery, that is electric motor. We can manufacture also CNG vehicles because we are doing the body, so we can source the engine or the battery or the electric from any source.
And then when you look at the number of jobs, because since we came in, a lot of assembly plants, especially in tricycle, motorcycle, has come up and they have done a lot of investment. In the last 2 years or so, the new assembly line that opened in Nigeria, there are more than 70. Even though those ones are small ones, but the major one still remain. So which means the major ones are still in business. So we are having more assembly line and we are generating more employment.
We looked at our waters and finally saw more than oil. We saw a 7 trillion naira blue economy.
You have about 28 coastal states. These states are linked by sea, and so the significance of water transportation is very huge. So investment in that area is both profitable and sustainable. Part of our own contribution to food security is to increase the possibility of local production of fish. Right now, the consumption is about 3.8 million metric tons, but the local capacity is just about 1.3.
Recognizing that the old structure had maxed out its utility, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed historical tax bills into law, with the Federal Inland Revenue Service drawing its final curtains, officially reincarnating as the Nigeria Revenue Service.
When I check your full year impact, which I call PBAT impact in 2024, you increase revenue by 76% compared to previous year. And that is, Mr. President, the support from subnational, that is the evidence of your decisive and necessary decisions. Beyond taxation, fiscal governance has been strengthened through improved remittance system, enhanced transparency mechanism, and tighter control on public finance flows. And if to put this in perspective, Mr. President, May 2023, when you assumed office, the total money available for the Federation was 711 billion. By September 2025, it was 3.6 trillion. That is 400% above what you inherited.
Today, the ultimate physical expression of this 3-year journey stands tall against Abuja skyline, the magnificent Revenue House. Today, the foundation is solid. The renewed hope is no longer a slogan. It is the industrial reality of a nation